Hey guys, we're doing something a little bit different tonight because it is slash was is E3. Yeah, where have you been, Panda? We miss you, man. And so it's me and V tonight.
Hello.
Hello, and we are going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the what the fuck.
What the fuck? And
What the
there was a lot of that.
fuck? There was a lot of what the fuck. But mostly just one massive what the fuck, no? So
Games-wise, yeah.
games-wise, yeah, because I watched this. I watched it and I was like, I don't know what I'm.
We'll wrap back round to that. I think we need to warm up first. Feel. Right. He was at Ubisoft. I see. Yeah. No. I think we need to. Let's talk about some good stuff to warm ourselves up. Feel good.
Feel
inside.
good. So I have this E3 2018 recap, and hopefully we will just play stuff like in the background. Can I start off by saying like one of my highlights was like the pandas.
There was only one panda.
I know there was like only one panda, but still, like it was a panda on the stage, and I was like fully behind that.
I was very disappointed that panda did not come back at the big kind of hey at the end.
Yeah, at the end. I mean, well, it was blatantly one of the guys like in the t-shirts who just thought, "Fuck this," I just like took off the head. He was at Ubisoft. Panda was at Ubisoft.
Yeah, Panda was at Ubisoft. Didn't you see him? He was on stage.
Panda was
dancing like a badass.
Like, you know, like I don't mind like I don't mind Just Dance. Like it's kind of stupid, but I wouldn't like. Oh my god! Sorry, just a horrifying Mr. Blobby type character just came up on the screen.
I'm a bit. Oh, you know, I'm at Mr. Blobby now. I was just watching the medieval dancing between the trumpets. But none of this makes any sense to me. I feel I might not be the right.
I don't think it needs to make sense, to be honest. Like
I was watching some Just Dance streams the other day, and yeah, I don't know why anybody wants to do that. It's the thing that you do on your own in your own private living room when nobody's watching you.
Oh my god, the frog! There's an amazing frog. Like, but I mean, like Ubisoft was just like totally French, just so French.
Oh, not Despacito. Dame tu casita.
Despacito.
Yeah, no, the whole
C'est
thing.
fantastique.
That whole thing was super. It was just it's super French from beginning to end.
It was pretty amazing though, and I spent time trying to work out whether that was actual saxophone happening or not.
When the panda was up, or
just like in general, because like there was like one guy in the audience who did not look pleased to have like a tuba in his face.
But he was literally inside the tube. It came dancing down.
Can you imagine like if you were like right there, you'd just be like, this is kind of cool, but what the fuck?
But you should know it. If you've gone to Ubisoft.
And
you're in the front row, you should expect.
Oh my god, all the pandas. They're just like a million pandas. Like, oh yeah, long. Just Dance 2019. So that was like one of my highlights. Oh my god, there's a dabbing frog on the fucking 2019 song list announcement. Oh, and thus the snake eats its own tail. But was there anything else like in Ubisoft that like stuck out to you?
In terms of things that I'm looking forward to, I think at Skull and Bones, absolutely, we saw much more of that, saw more of the gameplay. It is just AC Black Flag, but better.
Skull and Bones.
And it just Skull and Bones. It's the one with the lady pirate on the left there from where you are.
Yeah.
No, it was nice to see the game, but I mean, it's multiplayer.
You were so psyched, weren't you?
Yeah. And then they were like, "Oh, and here's your friends," and I was like, "Oh."
But
because even they admitted it at the end. It was like, yeah, people might work together, but then they'll be dicks because that's going to happen.
But I think, is that not kind of like pirate principle anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like you could team up and like, take down the giant armada type thing that's coming for you. But at the end of the day, once that armada's done, everyone gonna be fighting for that loot, and
Yeah, and I guess that's what they're just embracing that really. 'Cause that is how it's going to be.
But that was easily the best part of AC Black Flag. That whole kind of like trying to. That was so good.
Absolutely. It looks beautiful. It looks like it'll play just like the gameplay played in AC. And I like the fact that it's in the Indian Ocean, not in the Caribbean. So we haven't gone for like traditional
piracy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's no, it looks good. It looks good. I mean, obviously what we're watching at the moment is all like made up footage, but the gameplay footage did look good.
Yeah, no, it looks pretty sweet, but I love it. He was just like, oh yeah, let's call our friends, and then you could just immediately feel the ripple in the room. Like Scott saying in the chat there, I don't have friends.
As Fuckboy Europe
sails
in to save me.
I'm left clinging to the side of like a plank of wood, shaking my fist in the sky. Fuckboy Europe.
You have been exploded by Fuckboy Europe. Yeah, it's going to be all that. And then they'll be doing a jig as well on their boat. Right in your face.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Just do like the money emote over your body.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like what Sea of Thieves should have been.
Oh my god, yeah. But Sea of Thieves should have waited. I mean, because Sea of Thieves and I think Skull and Bones were announced roughly around the same time at E3s. And they should have. Actually, no, Sea of Thieves came out a year before. But even so, it's just been. Oh well, I won't go into it. I'll go off on a whole other rant about Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves could have been great. I mean, it could have been like the kind of Fortnitey kind of cartoon version of Pirates. That would have been. But there's just no content there. Skull and Bones. Well, obviously we don't know yet how much content is going to be there, and how exciting it will be for how long, and all that sort of stuff. But
yeah, we'll just have to see. But you were pretty excited about AC Odyssey.
Yeah, I was actually, yeah, and I still am. I have actually, since making that first podcast and talking now, I have started playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and I was actually I was quite surprised at I'm not hugely enjoying it at the moment. And
which one? Sorry.
Assassin's Creed Origins. I've just started playing it.
Which one is Origins? Oh, the
Origins
Egypt
is
one.
Was Egypt that came out last year, yeah, and or was it this beginning of this year? No, that ended last year. And it, yeah, I don't know. It's not filling with me with joy, which now makes me worried about Odyssey, because Odyssey, and Kieran can confirm this because he'd obviously played a lot of Origins. He said it looks just like Origins. It's just mapped onto.
Just ancient Greece. Just
basically. But also, I mean, it's interesting because the Origins, the period of, I don't know the exact dates, but the period that we're in Egypt is actually the Greek Egyptian period. So it's quite late in the whole, empire of Egypt. And so it really is just mapping straight over, just like up across the med and do a new story. But of course, the most exciting news was that you can finally play as a proper female assassin from the beginning, only a female assassin.
As displayed in that tweet earlier that went viral, I'm so glad that women are no longer more difficult to animate.
They finally got round it. Problem. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Also, and bless Kieran, bless him. This is what he was most excited about. Apparently, you can romance anybody,
yeah. So I was really excited at like the fact that like what I really like is that no matter whether you play as the male or the female, the storyline is the same, exactly the same, down to all of the available romances as well, and that's very cool. Like, I think that's really awesome, and because girls want boys and girls. Absolutely. Girls want to be an assassin too.
The thing I'm worried about is it that you said that you can romance? They still have like select romance options that they've fleshed out.
Yeah.
Or does it mean you can literally romance anyone? Like walking down the street and there's
I wonder whether it's going to be kind of like the Mass Effect kind of model, where there are characters who are gay, bi, straight. And if you're, and therefore your choices are kind of dictated by that, but in theory you can kind of like romance whoever, or whether they're just going full on kind of like it doesn't matter like whether
Well,
you're
it's-
male or female, or because the latter would seem to be the case, but I can see
Yeah.
them going for the first one as well, if that makes sense.
like kind of, but it depends how much they flesh it out. That's the thing. I mean, if you just want like to go, hey baby, and hit on people randomly, and then suddenly they're interested, and then suddenly you're an item, then that's fine. But if you actually want it kind of a bit fleshed out, then obviously they have to write that character, and they have to write
That's
all
true.
the interactions, and that depends on what sexuality they are and all the rest of it.
So the difference between a Harvest Moon romance and a Stardew Valley romance.
Yeah, exactly. It's like here are some strawberries, and then at least in Stardew Valley you get a little conversation. That's it. Whereas in Harvest Moon it's just like, oh, we are now lovers. So, but yeah, I don't know how it's going to go. I'm having started playing Origins. You know what? Actually, the biggest problem I had with Origins was that I played the prologue bit. And that went on for quite a while. That was kind of like a Hinterlands in Dragon Age moment.
It's like you go into the main quest line and you're like fucking level 30 and everything else is like level 10. You're like, I have lingered too long.
And then I went over to the next bit. I rode off to Alexandria, and the map. Oh my god!
Really?
It was so big that I just put it down. I was just like, and I'm walking away.
It's in one of those moments where like your brain just can't process.
I was just like, that's too much Egypt.
You had your Doctor Strange moment, kind of flying through the cosmos as the knowledge of Egypt just like flooded into you.
And I'm assuming, obviously, it'll be exactly the same. But the problem is it's Ubisoft, and so it's, big
That's
open
just
world,
how it is, yeah. Big
Yeah,
open
but
world,
there
but
isn't-
hella empty.
Yeah, nothing's happening. I mean, there are things happening, but they're all the same things happening. And
Fetch me
that's
something.
Exactly. I had a literal fetch quest where I had to pick a guy up and carry him somewhere. And I was like, this is the most fetch quest I've ever had. But, yeah, no, it's, and I'm worried that honestly, because obviously we're only a year later, that it's just basically a reskin, and we'll move on with that. But
anyway. we'll see.
Yeah.
Just in chat though, just feed them cake until they marry you. May have bad health consequences.
That's all I've ever learned from Harvest Moon.
That's what Harvest Moon taught me. That's how I land me a wife.
Take my gift.
Did you? So, was there anything in any of? I guess I'm scrolling through this list because so much happened that I can't remember. But I
It's
was
like the map of
really.
Egypt.
It is like the map of Egypt. The knowledge of E3 like flowing directly into my brain. But I really liked the look of 2 Point Hospital because they showed some gameplay. Like I'm very excited about 2 Point Hospital anyway, which is spiritual successor to Theme Hospital and all that.
I don't think it's spiritual successor. I think it is.
It is Theme Hospital.
It just that's all I thought in that demo was it literally is Theme Hospital.
But I mean, it's just I guess yeah. I mean, just I was really excited to see like the conditions and just like just watching everything and you just see shit happening in the background and just like, is that guy a ghost? Does that guy have a saucepan stuck on his head?
I like the turtle head one.
The turtle head one is hilarious. We'll get to that in a second in the footage. But like that, there's a guy with a saucepan on his head, over to the side, just walking around like it's no big thing. But
I can hear Fortnite dances.
thank you. Thank you for the subscribe, Jimbo. We love you.
Oh, Jimbo. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Ooh, triple.
Oh, baby, a triple. Oh my goodness.
I'm doing the what's it called? Make it rain.
The Make It
Not
Rain
really-
emoji.
Completely pointless, but I'm still doing it. Yeah, baby.
So
if you change it into the Fortnite dance now, then that sound effect.
no,
I heard
the subscribe sound effect was always the Fortnite dance.
Oh, was it? I don't know why
It's
I heard
if you
that.
follow. Oh, the reason you heard it is because I have my PC set up slightly differently because I was watching the Fortnite Pro thing on my TV and I switched the sound over to the TV, but for some stupid reason, like I don't know how do audio configurations work.
I don't know.
Jimbo says, thanks for everything y'all do. Oh, you sweetie.
Oh, bless you. Make it rain, make it.
But I also loved in 2 Point Hospital the monobrow thing, and like how the brows like literally came off the guy and started running around like insects, and you're like, wow. So that's what happens when you wax.
But I mean, it really is the most, because I'm sure at the end, at some point, the voiceover is the same voiceover. It's the same woman saying something like, I can't remember, Doctor somebody to
Doctor
something.
to my reception.
Yeah, exactly. It was exactly her voice. I mean, I'm not compared. That's not a bad thing, because I bloody love Theme Hospital, and I would absolutely play it until, you know, my dying day. But it's just kind of a bit too old now. But 2 Point Hospital.
Yeah, man. But just the horror when you they just picks up desk and there's like a million bugs underneath it.
Yeah. I just put you there. Yeah.
It's like shit.
And then you have to shoot them. You have to shoot. See, it's the same game. Don't be fooled, people.
Well, it does have like, isn't it like 2/3 of the Bullfrog team who are working on it? I'm pretty sure it's a good number of people who worked at Bullfrog working on 2 Point Hospital. So yeah, we'll let that one slide. Yeah. I guess the other thing. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, go on.
No, I'm just going to move on.
Scott's annoyed because we've jumped out of order.
Have we?
Yeah. We jumped into PC rather than movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think there was we were kind of going for good, bad, what the fuck, and then we were kind of going for like.
If we're going for good, then scroll back down to Neocab, because did you see that? I mean, that's right up your alley.
Oh yeah. No, I want Neocab. I'm like, I mean, yeah, this is right up my street.
That looked amazing. That was just, I mean, and I'm not big on kind of visual novels, but it looks incredible.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like right up my street. And just and just the whole kind of like, oh yeah, you're like driving, but then there's this deeper dark. You're not just a cabbie. You have a deep dark story behind it. No, I'm just a total sucker for that sort of thing. That's anything that kind of is like a low key version of Crazy Taxi is kind of down with me, to be honest.
So I wonder what the actual gameplay is though. I mean, is it just driving, or do you just like click from location to location and then have chats and you have to like earn your Uber tips or whatever?
I'm like, because you know your Uber rating is kind of, so it says stay on the road and stay on the search, but you presumably must have to do some sort of you know, abiding by the rules of the road, because you can't be judged just on the caliber of your conversation. Well, you shouldn't be anyway. But Tom Cruise is in the passenger seat.
Oh, that's not good news. It just, I mean, there's not much to say about it at the moment. It was quite a short demo, but it looks really good. I'm quite excited about that one. And when that comes along.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited as well. Other things that I thought were really cool was what's it? Last of Us 2.
Oh right. Yeah.
And I didn't even fucking play the first one.
You haven't actually played it, have you?
I haven't actually played it. I watched a Let's Play of The Last of Us Part 1 because I couldn't handle playing it myself, and also I didn't have a PlayStation at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It looks brutal.
It does look really brutal.
It kind of makes sense, because obviously Ellie's tiny and she really just has to hit hard if she's in a fight. But oh my god, it looks brutal. And on some of the animation, like there was a bit, I think she like slides and picks up a grenade and throws it all in one minute.
Oh yeah, no, it was harsh, and just like, but as well, like when she was kind of and I guess like I'll skip to those kind of relevant bits. That really brutal kind of fight in the kind of what looked like a mall kind of
Yeah, she went into a shop, didn't she?
Yeah, it was a shop
they all
setting.
started coming in, and then
some of that shit was just like awful to watch. Yeah. But and while I can acknowledge that perhaps like it was like really heavily scripted, this kind of sequence, it's quite exciting to think that there's a possibility of all those different things that you could do.
Yeah. I mean, I won't be able to do them. I suck at stealth. so it will go horribly wrong. But it looks frightening. I mean, and I'm glad that they've kind of recaptured that, because Last of Us probably was the most frightening stealth game I've ever played. I mean, usually you're playing stealth games, and sometimes you get a bit kind of spooked because you're trying to be sneaky, and someone's watching and what have you. But Last of Us was always terrifying because you knew that if you got into combat, you were
fucked.
basically.
Yeah.
And
it's very much in keeping with Ellie. Yeah, as you said, as a character, because she's tiny compared to all of these people. But like when she gets into a fight, she's as brutal as she can be. Like she was like proper kind of scrappy doing it. Like like she'd bite him on the ankles if she could. You know what I mean? Like, it was just brutal. But I mean, like, and Scott's right. Let's ignore all the violence and let's talk about like the happy kisses at the beginning, because I felt like that was really interesting. Like, you know, that they built a life, and. And she's wearing kind of like a shirt that's reminiscent of Joel's, really, and then that guy kind of ribbing her, saying like, "Oh, your old man gave me a really hard time," type thing. And
I like that. Based on our predictions that we did, that Scott has been proven right, that they did go on to live a reasonably normalish life, unless all of this is fantasy and Joel's still dead.
But then I wonder, well, I mean, like, but then I wonder, like, at what point was, or you know, she's clearly having some kind, I don't know whether she's having a flashback or whether it's just they just cut it for dramatic effect, like let's sandwich the horror in between something that's really quite lovely. And she's like, Ellie can never be normal or have a normal life because she's just like, you know, a freaking killer or whatever. But like I don't know at what point that takes place and why that takes place. Like, they go on patrols, do they range, they're trying to steal stuff, who are those people in like the, you know, coats and all that sort of thing? What has happened to all the zombie type creatures?
Yeah, we didn't see a single zombie, did we?
No, because I was, first of all, I was confused. I was just like, are those zombies? I was like, no, the real monster is man.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume this is the kind of lead up to why she becomes so angry in the other, you know, that what we saw in the other teaser video.
Yeah.
That she wants to go off and kill everybody. I'm assuming she gets into a relationship with this woman
and then everybody dies. No.
Because, you know, I don't know how LGBTQ friendly this period of time is or any of that. I assume it is because they're in the middle of their compound, so you know, I wouldn't. But who knows? Because
I thought like
that other guy was with her. Wasn't
yeah,
he?
I was gonna say, didn't you know? She was like, "Oh, you know, I'm sure she'll come around eventually," and then like,
I'm gonna go mack her right now,
like right in front of you, in your face, after telling you that you potentially had a glimmer of hope. Well, I'm sorry, dude. I'm really sorry.
That's gonna end well.
It's like P.S.
No, it looks really good, I have to say. And you should play the first one. You should get into it.
I'm scared.
feel it because it's.
No, I can't. Yeah. I mean, like I watched like even like the first kind of segment of that game was incredibly difficult to watch. Never mind like play. Yeah. So I think for everybody it would have been just very difficult. You just be like no, because you know there's just that inevitability of it all, really, isn't it? Like in the very beginning.
Scott's madness is vindicated, so Scott.
But I'm also scared that V is also totally right.
I'm telling you, go Scott. Go Scott. No, go Joel. Go
Joel. But yeah.
We didn't see Joel at all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but she said the old man. But I don't know. I'm making an assumption. Yeah, I'm making an assumption.
Exactly, it's what they want you to believe.
So other news, in other good news, how about that Farming Simulator 2019? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I didn't watch that either, but I'm just looking at this list.
If we're going to talk about games that look freaking awesome, then I want to talk about the Ghost of Toshishima or whatever he's called. Where was he?
The Ghost of what's it?
I can't say Japanese names. Tsushima? Tsushima, the Ghost of Tsushima. Did you see that one?
I didn't see. 8 minutes. Jesus.
Yeah, I know, but it's full. It looks like The Witcher, but like in samurai Japan, feudal Japan, and it just looks amazing. It looks stunningly gorgeous, and you play as a samurai. I think you can also be like a little bit of a ninja. And more and more stuff is coming out about it now, but it just looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this now. This looks lovely.
And the game, it skips through a bit.
Ooh, look at the detail on that straw hat. That's the marker of a good game.
It just, I don't know. It's not just the graphics. It just, the story looked really. Apparently, this bit that we see in this clip is a side quest, not actually part of the main quest at all. And it looks well written. It looks fascinating. It's in a world that I know very little about. So,
who's the dev?
I don't know. Who is the dev? Oh no, Sucker Punch Productions. I don't
Oh,
know.
girl! Ouch, that was brutal. So I just watched him stab a guy.
Yeah, it looks
it's like cut to murder. Oh, assassinated. Oh, Lord. Oh, this is brutal.
Oh, I see. You skipped ahead, right?
Are we marked for mature? We are marked for mature audiences, aren't we? Oh, you got to stab a guy through the paper screen. Oh no, paper screen stab. Combo. That looks pretty cool. When's that slated for release? Like 2020 or something?
No, I don't think it's got a date at the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's to be announced. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they're infamous. They do all the infamous games.
Aha.
So, which I've not played any of, so I don't really know anything about it. But then I was that kind of way with Guerrilla as well before they did Horizon Zero Dawn. So
yeah, no, fair enough.
I'm excited by that one a lot, which I didn't think I would be. But there you go.
I am excited about Let's Go Pikachu / Let's Go Eevee. The Nintendo Treehouse did a good kind of like 45-50 minutes of just playing it, and it looks pretty. And the thing is with Pokemon, every time I think I'm done, they do something and I'm like, yeah, alright then. They're they just made it super pretty, and it's a kind of like a remake update of one of my favourite Pokemon games, which is Pokemon Yellow. And which is like
the one where Pikachu sits on your shoulder.
Yeah, basically, and that Pikachu sits on your shoulder. But I think what was like a real highlight for me was just this one section where they were like, oh yeah, your Pokemon are like scaled now. So in the game you could always, whoever was like first in your party list would come out of your Pokeball and kind of sit next to you. But you know, because of the graphics, they would always be exactly the same size as you. But now, like if you move Onyx to come and stand outside with you, Onyx is literally as big as he is supposed to be. And you're like sitting on top of this giant fucking rock snake. I found it on the street.
Holy shit!
And I was like, I am sold. Take my money, Nintendo. I am down with this.
Oh my god. I mean, I kind of always said that he was big, but oh my god.
And little 10-year-old me is like, the dream has come true.
You can ride that Onyx.
And like for the whole presentation, the two guys who were kind of talking through it were one was holding a Pikachu and the other was holding an Eevee plushie, and I'm like, I need to go and get one of those now.
You were fully suckered.
I was fully suckered. Yeah, I was completely fully suckered. And yeah, and I mean, like, a lot of things aren't really going to be very different. They were like kind of like update the music and all that sort of thing. And you know, the Pokemon are kind of there, and they have like companions. You can just basically kind of just murder everyone with all your Pokemon. And it's like good kind of like original OG Pokemon. Kind of before it got like a bit too kind of crazy, complicated and things like that. But I really, really like. I just really like the look of it, and you know, I'm down with it. Even if it's on Switch, I'm down with it. Because I mean, like it would, rather than kind of like releasing it on DS. Do you know what I mean? Like it's on a console.
It's going to be on Switch though, isn't it?
Yeah. Pokemon Terrifying Onyx Edition. Also, as rightly pointed out, it is very close. So I say relatively, but it's relatively. So releasing in November. So we've not got that long to go until this. So I'm looking forward to like playing it and getting to kind of like between the 7th and 8th badge, and then putting it down again. Because the grind gets too real.
That's basically every Pokemon game I've ever played. So I have never finished a Pokemon game.
I'm not 100% kind of convinced by the integration with Pokemon Go and like the little Pokeball controller, but you know, seeing the Pokeball controller in action, I'm kind of like, oh, that's really cute. You can have like put a Pokemon in it and kind of carry it with you. And I was just thinking, like, you know, what if it like went off at work, just in my pocket, like Pika.
What does it actually? I saw him holding it in the showcase, but I wasn't entirely sure what you do with it. It had a button on it.
So you could that thing you can use it as like a controller, like an alternative controller.
Okay. Oh, like so you like press the button.
Yeah, you can fulfill all your Pokemon fantasies, but hopefully not literally throwing a controller at the screen, but kind of coming as close as you can. But you can put the Pokemon in it and take it out for a walk with you. I mean, they did a similar thing like a while back when they re-released when they did Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They had this little kind of like Pokeball controller where you took it around with you like a virtual pet. So I didn't catch all of it, and Scott will probably kind of like no doubt correct me in the chat, but I think it's a kind of similar thing, question mark, because I mean, like, they got all this whole thing where like you can transfer Pokemon from Go to the Pokeball to the Go Park in the game, and it just sounds like a lot of stuff which I'm probably not really going to bother with, because I'm over like Pokemon Go, really. But but I just want to play Yellow again, but updated, and with a giant Onyx.
Well, you've got it all then.
Yeah, I've got it all, and I am sorted. So, were there any other highlights that you like? Good.
Really good stuff. Let's think. I'm looking forward to Hitman 2. I'm not gonna. It looks pretty much the same as Hitman 1, so
yeah, I'm done with that.
I'm happy with that. I'm fine if it's just more of the same and more, you know, kind of. I was fully into that before, so they don't have to change that. What else was good? Beyond Good and Evil 2. Were you excited by that? Or
I never played Beyond Good and Evil.
Nah, neither did I. So I don't.
Really but I am down with the whole kind of like space and the whole
awesome.
Space setting.
I have no idea what's happening, but it looks awesome. So I'm fully into all of that.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I was kind of getting excited because it just made me remember how much I loved Mass Effect, and it just made me long for Mass Effect. But
those days are gone.
Those days are gone. Yeah. Any further goods? I'm just got to scroll through the list because so much has happened over the past couple of days. Oh, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Didn't really hear very much about that and what that really meant or anything like that. But I think it's interesting that they're kind of going to release it for free. Did you hear anything about that?
It's out quite soon, isn't it? I have to say I feel nothing when I watch that. I'm not really. It's not calling to me at all. I don't know why. Because I did like Life is Strange. I was in for all of that, but maybe I just hate kids. I don't know what it is now. I just maybe I don't. I mean, obviously I did play as a kid. I remember being, you know, playing around and all the rest of it. But maybe I wasn't like
that imaginative.
Yeah, trying to be a superhero. I don't remember playing like that. It doesn't. It doesn't.
I remember when I was younger, like me and my sister would like reenact episodes of Captain Planet. It was like the greatest thing.
Oh no, but yeah, exactly. I remember doing all of that, but it just I don't know why, but I find it really twee when they do that whole let's turn kids' imaginations into reality, and
she's not into it. Okay, so that would fall into the bad, I guess, category for you.
No, I don't think it's going to be bad. I'm sure it'll be brilliantly made. I'm sure it'll have lots of heart-tugging storylines like Life is Strange did. But for me, it's not for me. But
yeah, you're not into it.
For others, absolutely. I don't think it will be a bad game at all. I think it'll be a great game, but I don't want it.
I don't want it. So, shall we move on to the bad?
I think so. I mean, there was a few. There was.
I don't know. We're kind of going to be crossing into what the fuck territory, but
yeah, I don't know if this falls into the bad category at all. But I don't know if you watched the trailer for Man-Eater, the shark game. All I could think.
Oh my god. What?
Fran's creepy shark voice all the way through it. As far as I can tell, you just play. Yeah, I am 20 seconds behind you, but you just scroll past it.
Yeah, no, I found it.
It's yeah, it's basically you as far as I can tell, you just play as a shark and you eat people. That's literally the conceit of the game. But for me, it was just because I could hear Fran having a whale of a time playing it, doing her creepy shark voice. I like the fact that you can go to the bayou. You don't have to just eat people in the sea.
You can have a variety of different cuisines.
You can eat wherever. I like the bit where it leaps
You
out
can
and
have
it's like
jambalaya. You have barbecue on the beach.
I don't know how far the gameplay will go. To be honest, I mean, what much is that more is there than jumping out, eating people, throwing them around, and that's it, really, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like Prey, but without the multiplayer aspect or other sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, I don't know, you guys. I'm not really like down with that. There are more Switch ports incoming. Babylon's Fall and Octopath are great. Yeah, which I kind of agree with that. But we're talking about like what was bad. And I'm trying to think about what I've looked at and was just like, I'm not sure whether there's anything that I looked at was just like, oh, that looks like a fucking awful idea.
I thought the fake gamer chat in Division 2.
Oh yeah, no, that was terrible. That was terrible.
As usual.
But we were joking about that, weren't we? Because we were just like, if this was us, that would be like, there'd just be expletive left, right, and centre, and
get your filthy hands off my loot.
Yeah, I hope you die first, you bitch.
Get you. Yeah, other such a. I mean, the game looks passable. I mean, look, I didn't really play the movie.
It's passable.
It looks fine.
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
shooter,
nah.
but,
Just on the I guess it kind of crossed into what the fuck territory, but also it should have been good. My friend Pedro looks just bonkers.
Yeah.
Or should I say bananas?
That looks quite awesome, actually. Although, again, I think probably limited gameplay appeal because it's just playing
and shoot.
You've just got to learn the different maneuvers, haven't you? It basically just looks like Deadpool.
Deadpool the game.
The banana game, yeah. A kind of Deadpool puzzler, basically.
It reminded me a little bit of Super Hot, Hotline Miami, you know, all those kind of like bonkers things that you could do, but you know, how squishy is your character in reality? Probably not that squishy. Like
yeah, I don't know. I mean, in this, obviously, whoever's playing it or whatever
is highly skilled. In reality, it would just be you going like tap tap tap, squish, die.
I can imagine it being quite frustrating because it looks like you just have to do the same thing again and again and again and just learn the patterns, get it in the right place, and all the rest of it. But it's got some appeal, and for people who love that sort of thing, who love work. It's essentially a puzzle game, isn't it? But with brutal deaths, and a guy looks a bit like Deadpool and likes to fly around in the air. So
Stealth says it reminds him of the Swapper, which I can see actually.
I don't know.
It's this weird kind of like puzzler game. Dean recommended it a while back, where you kind of like change perspective, and it's that very much that kind of like learning of patterns and mechanics. And is that, even though it's not a puzzle game, just a visual style? Yeah, no, I can see that. It reminds me a little bit of the visual style reminds me a little bit. What's that game with like the robot? Shadow Complex. There we go.
That was the one I was trying to think of.
There we go.
It looks just like in that kind of side-scrolling style, yeah.
Jimbo asked, wasn't this a browser game back in the day? I don't know. I feel like I should refer to my encyclopedia.
My learned friend.
Yeah, my learned friend. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was some kind of like browser game. I can imagine that being on like Newgrounds back in the day, albeit a very stick person version of it. I guess some more like bad stuff. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it bad, but just like the clamouring for Skate 4. It's just one of those things where I was just like, I'm too old for this. I don't understand.
Oh my god, yeah, we're going to talk general bad stuff. I think just the Twitch chat in general.
Oh, the Twitch chat. Good God, never
was
read the
cancer
Twitch
from
chat.
beginning
Good
to end.
Lord. Oh, my friend Pedro was a Flash game. Interesting.
I know. I've actually just searched on it, and I found it in Flonga, whatever the hell.
Flonga. What is Flonga?
So
Sounds like
it's
spyware.com.
It's one of those. Oh yeah, no, it is. I can see it's a really early version of what we were just watching.
Oh, interesting.
I like that. I like that when they make that. I experienced that with Raft at the moment.
Ah.
Because I played that on Itch.io and now it's gone big and it's all steamed up and everything. It's anyway.
We're not strictly sticking to this to the good bad whatever format. I do want to finish on what the fuck though. But I will say that like Fortnite on Switch is interesting. I don't know, like I feel like I will be that person that's just like, are you playing on mobile? No, I'm playing on Switch.
Playing on Switch. Of course, there's been all the hoo-ha with the lack of crossplay.
Yeah, with PlayStation,
which is very bad. I think absolutely fully falls into the bad category because apparently you can't even disconnect your PlayStation and just.
If you've ever linked before, you can link no more.
You are tainted.
You are tainted
from this place.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's what Sony's doing, and what are they playing at? Are they trying to piss people off? I
mean, like in this situation, to have Nintendo, who like are quite notoriously very guarded about kind of like playing with others, really. To be the good guys in this situation is a bit kind of like, you're just like, oh, Japan, but like when the trailer kind of like first dropped and I got very excited and then thought like, well, in reality, am I ever going to play it on the Switch? Possibly, if I felt like taking it with me, but even so, you'd have to kind of like hook up someone with a net connection and I'd run into the same problem. It's just like, why would I use all of that data or whatever? But like this bit at the beginning, exactly, yeah, well, this bit at the beginning with like the little llama, like when we were watching this, like Rob was like, is that a llama amiibo? And I was like, holy shit, it's not, but I really wish it was. Can you imagine like a llama amiibo? I would be all over that.
The only thing I was thinking was, how do you get 100 people in that bus?
I was like, where are all those people? They all like jumped out at like.
No, but I thought they would have at least taken the seats out, because you're not going to get 100 people in that bus. You've all got to stand, surely. I was assuming it was standing room only. But maybe I'm overthinking this.
Not like a buses in the UK, they were just like, oh, my phone's ringing. Hold on a second.
But no, I thought that was a little bit daft, really, that they hadn't at least taken the seats out. But like you said, the llama thing was pretty cool.
But it's like if you got like on a bus on like a UK bus. Sorry, I'm gonna shut my door.
It's breaking up for me a little bit too.
Oh, sorry, hold on. So I'm just gonna shut my door.
Wah 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 wah.
Anyway, yeah. So when like on a UK bus, it says like seats 30, standing 24. You're just like seats 75, standing 25. Just thinking, where was everyone? They all got off like really early. But yeah, like I think it's a shame. Has Sony actually come out and given like a thing? Because all I've seen is them getting roasted. Or I haven't seen like an official statement or anything for Sony that would explain like why. I mean, like Castell's pointing out there was the same thing with crossplay on Minecraft and Rocket League, and Sony were just like, we can't control content. Think of the children, and that's the line they kind of took. But I haven't seen them take any line on this.
No, I haven't seen anything official from them yet. I don't know whether they must have said something.
They're probably just gonna like bed down and just ride through it, and people will like forget. I think, but yeah.
I thought it was to do with the fact that they didn't want any sort of crossover with Xbox, and because you can cross over between Switch and Xbox, it was something to do with that.
But I mean, you can cross over with like ridiculous. PC and Xbox, so.
Yeah, so.
I mean, if they really wanted, they could like say no crossplay whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like.
But then they'd be shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Which they kind of
I think they've kind of already done it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, general bad. I say bad, but there was that whole weird thing where Sony didn't. Well, was it Sony? The conference that wasn't really a conference. that was like an air quote experience, and they kind of like pushed people through all the different rooms.
And the flute player. And
Yeah.
In the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that was Sony. I didn't stay up for it, so I didn't see it.
But I remember seeing it. I'm thinking like I remember what you tried. I could see what you tried to do here, but I'm not 100% sure of it. And I suppose like the other thing, wouldn't necessarily put it in like the bad category, but maybe the kind of like category is the whole Nintendo spending 25 minutes to half an hour talking about their fucking Smash Brothers.
Holy hell.
Which is...
I could not... I think I died and turned to a skeleton during that, because I could not have cared less.
Well, like it's like I get it, and the Smash and Smash has like, you know, a very rabid and dedicated fandom, which is fine, and like I could totally understand all the rest of it. But to spend like half of your damn thing talking about it, I was just like,
no Waluigi.
And no Waluigi. Still no Waluigi. We got like 50 other characters in our fucking roster, but you're not having Waluigi.
I think that's what made me laugh the most. He was like, here, you can have fucking everything you've ever complained about. Here you go, everything is there. And then the next day, why no Waluigi? And that's all I've heard. And I just like...
It's just like, you give them 25 minutes of footage, you reveal the roster, you do it, like, this is why we can't have nice things.
I saw a brilliant meme of it. You know the like lie on the ground, try not to cry meme.
Yeah.
Like, there was one with Waluigi. It's like lie on the ground, try not to wah.
Hi Jack Fam on Twitch, welcome to the stream. We're just chit chatting about E3 jazz. I like Smash, and like, you know, like I like playing Smash, but like with friends, you know, it's an incredibly lonely experience trying to grind through like all the time. You're just like, oh, the computer is way better than I could ever be. And, but like I've seen people go like, alright, that's it, this is the game that's making me buy a Switch, and I'm kind of like, nah. And I like, it's good, and don't get me wrong, like I'm grateful for it, but it's not really like my jam. But then again, like I said, this is why I put it in like the meh character, in category rather, because like Nintendo don't really play the E3 game. So they're like, throughout the rest of the year they're gonna be like Nintendo Directs, they'll lose all their shit and everything and all that lot, and it'll be fine. But like when it comes to kind of like E3 proper, they never really put out like a dazzling thing. Yeah. They put 25 minutes of fucking Smash Bros.
They were like, shut up, fanboys, here you go.
Never asked. I saw a meme, it was like the guy with the box art and saying, never ask me for anything ever again.
But they were asking for Waluigi, wow.
Yeah. It's just like you're never gonna be satisfied. Jack Fam's favourite character is Kirby.
I do appreciate all the extra effort they put into. They made a special point about how hard Kirby was. They had to animate every single move when he sucks in someone else.
But like, you know, I think my favourite character in the most recent Smash was Villager. Which is no surprise. This is
and
very.
There were several of them. There were lots of variants, weren't there?
Yeah, I guess I'd put it in the bad character category, but again, it's kind of meh because I know it's coming elsewhere during the year, and Nintendo will make a big thing about it. No Animal Crossing.
No.
They said we know it's coming, we know it's gonna come, but they were just like, yeah, you can't. Sorry, I just watched Yoshi like eat Luigi and poop him out into an egg, and just, you know, like I forget how weird these games are with no context if you're not like a Nintendo fan.
Maybe they didn't want it to be dwarfed by the Smash Brothers.
Yeah, 25 minutes. But you know, like 25 minutes of Smash Brothers followed by 25 minutes of Animal Crossing. I probably could have gone down with that, but you know, I'm looking forward to Animal Crossing, and I don't, and you know, it's fully going to be a dedicated Nintendo Direct like later in the year. I'm fully expecting that, and they're going to make a bigger deal out of it then. But for now, it was kind of nah. Do you want to move on to the What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Can I start down with Ubisoft and the Trials guy coming in on a bike and then pretending to fall over. That was, I don't know whether it was what the fuck or just cringe. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, there was so much like every now and then it was just like, well, that's going in the cringe compilation. That's going in the cringe compilation.
I mean, it's E3. There's always going to be some cringe. I saw a clip earlier of like a really tall guy as well when they were talking about Rage or something. It was really just a massive guy standing next to a really tiny guy and just standing.
Oh, that thing was like on Twitter. Scott was like, "This is what it feels like in real life for me."
It just there was a lot of awkward stuff.
I'd say what the fuck a little bit like Rage 2. And I know like the guys covered this the other day, and you guys, if you missed that, it's up, we put it up in podcast format on ready-up.net, wink. And yeah, the whole kind of like Rage thing, I played some of like the first game and I was just like, I'm tired of brown and grey. Like, and I'm tired, and also like the game like hideously bugged for me at one point, where one guy who I shot just kind of like ragdoll puppeted at my feet for like a good kind of minute and a half. It's like one of those really awkward times where you're kind of like not sure if game is completely broken or if this is just like a and I was just like, I'm not down with it. And even if you bring like Andrew WK onto the stage to do like the music, even if you have this fun little like music video with like all these colours, the game is still like 90% brown. Like your freaking pink mohawks and stuff are not like, compensated for the fact that the landscape is 90% brown. And just I'm not into it. I'm not into it. Sorry, lads. I know Kieran was kind of like, I really liked Rage 2. Well, you're wrong, honey. You're wrong.
Okay.
Rage was shit.
Okay. I from the trailer, I thought it looked interesting. I still wouldn't. I probably wouldn't play it, but I thought it looked interesting. But no, maximum what the fuck from the first. No, maximum what the fuck I will come to. Minor what the fuck was Kids. Did you watch that Kids trailer?
Kids.
What the fuck is that? It's just the black and white one with the little stick models. There's a guy in the center of a circle. I think it's a mobile game.
It's Double Fine, eh?
Yeah.
10% colour is better than 0% colour. But you know what's better than all of that? Just actual colour. Oh, my eyes. What is this?
I know, what is this? What is happening? Why is it happening? What is the game? I don't understand. That is a full on what the fuck. I don't understand what it is. Is it some sort of Lemmings-esque game? You have to get people some... Like I say, what the fuck?
But
they told us nothing. So yeah, that was a real what the fuck for me. I thought when I watched that.
I think it's a what the fuck for me. I mean, like, people can't see my face right now, but it's pretty much like it's a prequel to explain the Legion boss in Castlevania / obscure reference. Thanks for that, Scott. Stealth is like, I want to play this.
I want to play it too because I want to know what is this? It looks. There's a game on mobile. I think it's called Hidden Objects, which I played, which is like.
Yeah.
And the art style looks very similar to that. To be honest, it's the same sort of shading and all that. So I don't know if it's from those people, but that was.
If this is like autonomous lemmings, I am all in. What the fuck, I suppose, is for me is Catherine full body trailer. I played Catherine back in the day, and it was alright. It was very much a what the fuck kind of game, because the premise of it is like this guy kind of trapped between choices of like two girls, and like, when he goes at night, he goes into this kind of like alternate dimension where he's kind of forced to solve like box puzzles in order to if he dies in the dream, he die in real life type scenario.
The sheep and stuff in there as well.
Yeah, the sheep is a weird thing, and like I wasn't 100% sure whether this was kind of like a remaster or continuation of Catherine. Like the trailer didn't make it very clear from like what I saw. Like it looked kind of like a continuation, but then there's another Catherine, and it was just kind of like, oh, what's going on? But then it was like, nothing really looks that much kind of different. It still looks like just mean and horrible, and
Isn't it quite full on as well? I seem to remember, isn't it? Isn't there a lot of boobies and not in it?
I wouldn't say like there's massive boobies in it. Do you know what I mean? It was more kind of like the suggestion of boobies, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like there was a thing that you could do, like if you wanted to play it down as like Catherine would text you, and like bad Catherine, I say air quote bad Catherine would text you, and you could like go into the bathroom and text her back, and then she would text you like a dirty picture, but it wasn't even really like dirty. It was just kind of just like, oh yeah, she looks, you know, her top's a little bit tight or whatever type thing. So they make a big deal out of it being like adult content, but it's not really that adult content. Although I will say, and this is kind of why it falls into what the fuck category for me, is that back in the day I went to a press promo event for this, which took place in a strip club, which is very, very weird.
See, this is why I've got this image of this game.
This is why you have this image, but if you've actually played the game, that fucking has nothing to do with it. And it was just, and what really annoyed me as well, like at that event, they had like 2 pole dancing Catherines. So they had 2 girls dressed up as like, you know, the bad Catherine, kind of like doing her thing, right? And I was like, and they were like, oh yeah, it's Catherine versus Catherine. I was just like, no, because you just dressed 2 girls up as the same character doing something which she doesn't ever really do in the game. I was like, doesn't make any sense. It's like somebody clearly thought like, oh yeah, it'd be super controversial to just like have this thing in like a strip club, and then it was like, but if you played the game, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good times, but yeah.
I think, and another what the fuck for me was, why is there a second Overcooked? And which looks exactly the same as the first Overcooked.
I have a special place in my heart for Overcooked, though.
Yeah, I mean it was. Yeah, we've had some good times on Overcooked, but I don't know. It just doesn't look like. Oh, I'm sure there's more exciting mechanics in there, and all the different ways to lose your pancake and you rag at all of your friends and never speak to them again. But for me. Actually, I tell you what was a bigger. You probably started playing the video of it now, so if I skip to another game, that's going to be quite annoying. But
that's all right. I just wanted to see the Onion King real quick. What you...
a bigger what the fuck for me is just Kingdom Hearts. I don't understand what's going on there. I don't think I ever will.
I feel like if you haven't got into Kingdom Hearts now, you're gonna have. And I know that they're releasing the kind of like ultimate pack, which has 1, 2, and 3 in it. But I feel like if you don't know it by now, if you don't know it by now, type thing, you're never ever really gonna know it. And then
you're never gonna know it. Yeah.
I mean, like I tried.
I did play the first one. I remember way back. I think I had a PS. I think it must have been PS2. I did play it because I think it either came with it or something like that. But it was before I knew anything about kind of GPRGs or any of that sort of stuff. I knew nothing about any of Square Enix's stuff. I knew Disney, obviously, and my head just boggled at the whole thing all the way through it. And
yeah, I mean, I got to a point in 1 and 2 actually where I was just like, I can't grind anymore. I just can't. I was like, I can't deal with it. And then I stopped it. I was like, as much as I love Disney, Disney, but I never really kind of like felt and dealt with like the Final Fantasy kind of thing. I feel like it's one of those series where I should. It's like one of those things where I feel like I should get into it, but I just didn't. And so, yeah. So I was always in it for the Disney and not like for the rest of it. And I can like feel it, but like the rest of it is such a huge part of it that it made it really difficult for me to play.
Well, that's the thing. I just don't see how those two worlds. I don't get it. But that's the thing. I think you've either got to be a big fan of it.
You gotta be a big fan of it, but like King Mickey. You can always get behind King Mickey. Like. I always got really excited. Oh, you have no heart.
I have no heart. I don't like Mickey Mouse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Kingdom Hearts, and I fully agree, Kingdom Hearts is not the series to introduce someone to a JRPG.
Yeah, and I think that's... And as I hadn't played any of the Final Fantasies either, so I was just a bit... should we talk about that as a what the fuck or a bad thing, that there was no Final Fantasy VII?
Oh, yeah, because everybody was, like, up in arms again. And now it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like... I don't really understand, kind of like Skatefall. And I'm like, but didn't we just have like a Final Fantasy VII? Oh no, didn't they just say? Oh, that was that the issue that they said they were that Final Fantasy VII full remake is coming and everyone knows it's coming, but they didn't mention it. Is that what the issue is?
Yeah, they just didn't mention it at all. Anyway,
Nah.
so
Nah.
do you have any more before I get on the biggest what the?
No, I think you need to come on to the biggest what the fuck. Because I know you have some thoughts, shall we say?
I don't know what thoughts I have. I am befuddled.
Let's unpick this.
I'm talking about Death Stranding, which was everything that we expected it to be. It gave us quite a lot of gameplay, quite a lot of footage. I couldn't really unpick what was gameplay and what was not, what was just kind of tailored gameplay. I do like the fact that
I was kind of there at the beginning where I was like, okay, so he's some kind of courier who has to like take things across a wasteful landscape, and then all of a sudden those weird things came in, and then the fucking baby, and I was like, I don't understand. I was like, I was there for a little bit, and now I just don't understand.
She's taking pills to not be eaten by time. There's something about time eating people.
Yeah, those creepy shadow creatures, like if they catch you, kind of like skip you forward in time. Yeah,
exactly. A bit like the blink thing in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That sent you backwards. But so is the baby? I think the baby's him. I think he is the baby. The baby is him. It's like himself, and that ties him. I don't know. Nothing was explained. All we know is he mentioned in some sort of voiceover he's got some sort of illness. He can see. Could he not see them? She said, "Can you see them or something?" And he was like, "Oh,
I know. I can sense them.
I can sense them or something." And I guess she's talking about the ghost creatures. The gameplay looks like it's just carry some shit and walk across a landscape for 3 hours. Where's the fun in that? What is the game?
I bet the whole game is a ruse for something.
Just make a freaking movie.
But I mean, there was that kind of like weird kind of stealth aspect at the end. I mean, when he kind of like, he said like, "Oh, you got to get someone." He had that weird kind of like lamp thing, and then he did the weird thing where he sprouted the baby. They had like very early on that kind of like where he like wakes up the baby like a fucking talisman, like, "Come on, kid, gotta get going."
Start giving me your baby luck or something.
But like way in the beginning, you remember the very first kind of thing that was announced with this, and it was just basically like him covered in oil,
lying on a beach. Did he have a baby at that? Was there a baby there at that point?
There was, because there was all the jokes about the Reader's fetus, no?
Oh, of course, yeah. Wasn't he holding a fetus or something like that? Or
I think he was like, I really can't remember, and I know
the babies are definitely a clear link, because they've been in every single trailer. There has always been a baby. So that's why I think the baby is part of you. That's quite scary where he gets eaten by those monsters. I'll admit that's
terrifying.
But what is the game? Where was Mickelson? Why was he not in it? Why?
But I was quite impressed by Mickelson and Lea Seydoux and the other chick. I forgot her fucking name.
They've got the cast. There's no doubt about that. But it's just. But why? What am I saying?
I stand by my theory that Kojima made the whole thing up to hang out with this year's crush, Norman Reedus. I don't disagree with that. But knowing Kojima, there is a whole kind of like, air quote, deeper thing to it. He's trying, because he's an auteur, isn't he? He doesn't give a fuck about whether it makes sense or not.
Then? He obviously wants to make movies. Just make movies.
Because I think maybe he doesn't feel like, oh Jesus, sorry, the toenail bit. I'm just like,
no, it's not. Oh god, no, I had to turn away.
Oh Jesus!
Why is that in my game? I don't want the experience of pulling off my own toenails.
Press X to toenail.
I don't get it. I don't. I mean, I'm starting to side with Scott on this one because there are a lot of shirtless shots.
But he was like, "But why do I have to be naked?" And he's just like, "For the game."
Art is confrontational. Okay, fine. It's an art piece. I just can't think. And one thing I did like. Oh yeah, there's this bit, isn't there, with the big hands?
Yeah, the big hand
monsters.
prints.
They seem to be different
creatures from the ones
the
with
spooky hand in the air monsters. Yeah, that was quite good.
At least it's not a David Cage game. Oh,
I did like her umbrella.
Her umbrella was so cool. I was like, why? I was like, what is the point to your fucking umbrella? But you know, I'm cool. Like, I'm down with that. Look at that.
There was something about
it shields her from time. Oh yeah, because she was like, oh yeah, because there was a problem. So like, you know, it's raining pretty hard.
It's raining. I can't go or something. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's like time rain.
Time rain. I thought it was like, at one point I thought it was like acid rain type thing, because like he did have some drops in his hand, and he had the kind of like.
Maybe, yeah, because it's the earth has been ruined.
Because they did sort of say it had that kind of, like early on they did say it has that kind of like environmental bent to it, when everyone was trying to disentangle what the hell the first trailer was, like last year at some point. And then there was just, there's probably like a whole raft of videos on YouTube as we speak that are just like, you know, the true story behind the Death Stranding trailer. Yeah, or like
they've looked at every
five things you didn't notice in the Death Stranding trailer.
Big red circle.
Big red circle.
Is that a scarf? No, it's part of his suit. I thought he had a cool scarf on then, but.
Why is Quiet naked? But she breathes through her skin. Yeah, no, we remember that. Shields her from
exactly. Auteur. That's what we're sticking with. Yeah. Okay. Just make your movies, damn you. And yeah, I just want to know. I want to know more. I want to know if it's going to be a game. I want to know what I'm playing. I mean,
but the thing is, like, I don't think, even if when we do get the whole thing and we play through, I don't think anyone's really going to be satisfied with the answer, if any, that it provides. You're just going to come away with this whole thing. It's just like, what did I just spend like X number of hours of my life?
We'll be having this same conversation in a year, 2 years, whenever the hell it comes. What was that?
There'll be like theses like written on the subjects, like, and I think that's probably all that Kojima wants. Like, just the time rain, the fetus shield. I don't know. No, deploy my fetus shield. Wow. The time rain is coming. If only I bought one of those cool perpendicular umbrellas. None of this makes sense. The thing, she ate the bug thing. She was just like, yes. No, what the day keeps the what away. And I was like,
stop the time future or something.
So you have to eat the babies? Like,
you have to eat the bugs so that you don't become the baby. I don't know.
That was it. Because like she was on the fucking beach at the end of it, with all the dead fish everywhere, and it was just like, why are you here?
Oh, but that's his daughter, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, because it's the picture. The picture.
There's a picture that was clearly his daughter, and is it Claire Danes? That looks a lot like Claire Danes, but it's not
Claire Danes. I was like, is that Leia? No, Leia Seydoux played.
It must be. She looks like Claire Danes. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, she's been eaten by the time monsters because she didn't eat her bugs or have an umbrella. She didn't deploy her fetus shield, and she's pressed X to toenail. And she's the last 40 years of fetch quests.
I mean, like, what I was disturbed about was like this one point early on when he was like carrying shit, and he was carrying what looked like a body, kind of like wrapped up.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He did have a big old like mummy on his back.
I was just like, oh, what is going on here? And also, let's not let that beginning bit pass by where the baby was basically birthed. Do you know the bit at the very beginning where you just saw baby inside womb type thing, and then it's creeping little head kind of.
I saw a baby like shows you its bottom and then gives you a.
Yeah, that's the thing I meant, where you're not 100% sure like where or what or why that is happening.
That's not a womb, that's an esophagus.
Is that an esophagus? So he ate the baby. Because he ate the baby. I'm sorry.
when it comes out, I think that shock continued out.
Teach me the facts of life, V.
Babies don't go in wombs. Babies go in men's esophagus. I don't know. I learned everything from the medical.
Everything I learned. Yeah, it's like Kojima's anatomy. Like
press X to toenail. That's what it was called. I don't know. That, to be honest, should be what this game is called.
Press X to toenail.
Because I suspect it's going to be the whole prologue. The first act is just going to be walking across desert and pulling off various toenails.
Oh my god!
And then be just taking his top off for no good reason.
Then some guy is just like, I paid £60 for this.
Oh my word! Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait. I can't wait for next E3 and the next video of what the fuckness that comes out.
I think we've covered a lot of ground tonight. I think. Shall we leave it there?
I think we've done a good broad sweep.
We done a broad sweep, but yeah. So thanks for joining us for this madness, you guys. Hope you enjoyed E3. I certainly learned a lot today that I didn't know about the human anatomy. Who would have thought it? So that's where babies come from. Women breathe through skin, umbrellas shield time, and men eat babies.
That's basically what we've learned today, Steph.
That's what we've learned. So thanks again, you guys. We'll be returned to our normal streaming schedule next week, and we've got E3 coverage going up on ready-up.net, so do check that out. There is a piece up there today from Stuart on why Devolver Digital cannot pull off the same joke twice. And there'll be some PC Gamer Show coverage coming up soon, and then of course this little roundup, and then we had the roundup that the lads did on Monday. So thanks guys for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thanks for the cheers, Steph. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Press X to turn out.